So, there you go. And again, back to our topic.
Back to our interesting topic.
Our very interesting topic, yes. So, yun na nga. Kung ang estate nila wala pang 1 million.
So, kung wala pang 1 million, you have to refer to the table, di ba? So, that's where you're gonna find the tax. And anyways, as I was saying earlier, we did parang a table on what point do we advise you to do an estate tax planning. And we were plotting the numbers, no? It seems as though if you have a net estate of about 8 million or more, then we advise you to do an estate tax planning. Meaning, if your net estate is about 8 million and below, whether you do something about it, plan your estate ahead of time, or just pass away, leaving your estate behind, the tax would more or less be the same.
Okay.
Kasi what you're trying to do, Ro, actually, when you do an estate tax planning, what you're doing is you're converting lang the mode of transfer. In estate tax, the mode of transfer is upon death. Diba? In estate tax planning, what you're trying to do is you either sell it, donate it, or do a tax-free exchange.
Okay. When you sell it, of course, there is a tax also, which is capital gains.
Yes.
When you donate it,
there's a donor's tax.
There's a donor's tax.
Yes.
How much is donor's tax?
It's like estate tax. It's graduated.
Okay. And the capital gains is 6%.
6%
And then
now.
you said something.
Or you do the tax-free exchange.
The tax-free
exchange it's a two-step process. First, you transfer to a corporation. The corporation gives you shares. And then you transfer your shares to your heirs. Diba? Kasi when you do an estate tax planning naman, what you need to do is to get your asset to your children or to your heirs, di ba? So, when you sell, diretso na yan. When you donate, diretso yan. When you do if you pass away and you don't do anything, the estate upon death transfers to your children. When you do a tax-free exchange, may siningit ka, you put parang like a sandwich, you put something in between the transfer from you to your children, and that is you create a corporation muna.
Mahal ba is it expensive to put up a corporation?
No, it's not. Anyone can put up a corporation. You go to the SEC, they have, I believe they have the, what do you call this? Standard form, express lane form. Just fill it up, you pay the filing fee, you wait, and then they'll set up a corporation for you.
Make your voice. Okay, what about in the business? You said put up a corporation.
Yeah, that's one of the three, di ba?
Yeah. What is the...
You sell, you donate, or you tax-free. You undertake a tax-free exchange.
All right. And then for let's say, like with me, I already have an existing company.
Yeah.
Can I just do it there, or I have an existing company that's operating?
Yeah.
And they have that company has a business. So, can I put my property there or put up another corporation?
You could put that property there. For example, if that property is the office space of that company, diba? And the title is in your name, you transfer na the title of that property to the trading firm or to that company of yours, diba? But if what you're going to transfer, say, is your house, which you intend for your children to live in, even when you pass away, I would not suggest that you transfer it to an operating company. So that, why? Because if the operating company has problems, creditors will run after the assets, they can run after your home, which you don't want to do. So, parang you wanna put it in a separate entity. I'm sure you've heard of mga holding companies.
Yes, the holding company.
That's what they do.
So you call it like a holding company?
Well, the holding company is the typical, most commonly used corporation, primary purpose of a corporation where they transfer.
Let's say I put up a Rose holding company, Just Astro holding company.
Yeah, you can do that and your properties are there.
And then who can be our incorporators? The family members.
The family.
What if my children are all under 18? Who can be there?
Hindi pa sila pwede.
So I have to get them, other people.
Normally, you can get your lawyers. If you have lawyers who set up the company for you, you get them. And as incorporators naman, they only hold one share each. And then after the incorporation is approved by the SEC, these people will sign a deed transferring back the shares to you.
Oh, we have a question from cell phone ending 6729. My mother-in-law died and someone is claiming my in-law left a mortgage on her pawn shop. We are about to pay in exchange for the property tax debt. Later, the lady said there was no documents at all. she lowered the amount due. Does she have the right to claim payment? You want me to read it again?
Yeah, again.
Can I read it again? Medyo complicated yung question. Okay, again. Isa siguro, my mother-in-law died and someone is claiming my in-law,
Her mother-in-law.
her mother-in-law left a mortgage on her in the pawn shop.
So her
No,
mother-in-law
pawned something.
pawned something.
So we are about to pay in exchange of the property documents tax deck.
So they are about to pay to get back because what her mother-in-law pawned is the property.
Maybe, and then later the lady said there was no documents at all. She lowered the amount due. Does she have the right to claim payment? There was no document.
I mean,
So she's actually asking, this lady from the pawn shop is asking payment from the left.
well, okay, if they're interested in claiming this property and it's really in the pawn shop or wherever it is, of course they should pay for it, no, to get it back. I think that's what it is.
But then she was asking, right? The amount due. Then she lowered the amount due. She's probably asking for a certain amount since she said that there were no papers. So that means that the papers are not with the pawn shop.
If there's no document to prove that her mother-in-law pawned anything at all,
Wala.
wala.
Wala kayong pag-uusapan.
Oo, wala kayong pag-uusapan, di ba? But
Okay.
if it is to their benefit and if they want to get the property back,
Oo.
syempre, kukunin mo yun.
Oo. Okay. Yun. So I
So,
guess
I
I hope that we were able to answer your question.
Yeah.
So then she does not have the right to claim payment if there's no papers for the
At all, yes.
the loaner
Yeah.
to show.
Bro, because I'm not very clear on what she's asking. She can send me an email if she wants and I'll reply na lang
Maybe
to
you
her.
can
Yeah. You can send me your email question to lmaranas@aranaslaw.com.
Okay. All right.
At
So
least I can be more clear.
kasi we have we're limited with time, no?
Oo nga.
Okay, so
So remember they said, di ba? To do an estate tax planning, what you're trying to do is you're trying to avoid the incidence of an estate tax with property passing upon death. So you either sell, you donate, or you do a tax-free exchange to a corporation. That's basically it. Kasi normally, pipili ka na dyan what will be the lowest tax rate applicable. Then that's what you do. Diba? At the end, what you effectively avoid is the payment of the estate tax, but you convert it. You either pay a tax on the sale, a tax on the donation, or a tax on the tax-free
okay.
exchange.
Diba they say that the life insurance can also pay for the estate tax?
Yes. Oo.
Do you advise this?
Well, for me kasi, if you can use the life insurance left by the decedent for something else, like to sustain the life of the families he's left behind, you'd rather do that instead of using the money to pay for taxes. So, for me, if you can avoid that incident, no, using the life insurance to pay for the estate tax due, mas mabuti yon. That's why plan your estate ahead. And remember, Ro, I just want to remind this. When you do an estate tax planning, and particularly if you do the tax-free exchange, what you're planning is actually not just your estate, but your children's as well. Kasi, once you've converted the nature of your asset, and I'm referring to real properties, once you've converted the nature of your land, house and lot into shares of stocks by doing the tax-free exchange, even your children now don't have real properties in their estate. Now they're having shares of stocks.
You're like
na lang.
setting it up for them already. So if my children's children will
inherit that
it,
land.
they'll also join the club, the company.
Or you transfer the shares na lang. It will pass from you to your children, to your grandchildren. Mas madali kasi maglipat ng shares of stocks kaysa sa house and lot.
So ang linalagay lang ba dyan is usually a real estate property?
Real estate kasi is harder to transfer. Di ba? Before you can transfer ownership, you'll go to the Register of Deeds. Before you can go to the Register of Deeds, you'll have to get a BIR tax clearance. So, mas mahirap siyang ilipat. Di ba? So, yun yung mas focus mo in an estate tax planning. Like, di ba, our example earlier, from lolo to mommy to the children, their hacienda in wherever, Bacolod, still, you have a lot of that. The titles are still in the name of the lolo of the lolo. Diba? Because real property is harder to transfer than personal property like shares of stocks.
So real property only. What are the other things that we can include in that corporation as a property of that company?
Well, you
Cars,
can
not really, no?
Parang I don't advise it anymore kasi
Kasi,
it's easier
unless,
to transfer
I guess
cars
it's really a
eh. Wala
vintage
namang
car.
tax due.
Wala. Okay.
Diba? When you sell a car, there's no tax liability. It's really just real property or shares of stocks. Diba?
Shares of,
Jewelry, when you sell, walang tax.
what about shares of stocks? Meaning, let's say, what stock in the stock market?
Could be that. Could be a proprietary club share. Could be shares of stocks of the trading company.
Okay.
Like whatever company might have.
What about funds, like mutual funds? Kailangan bang ilagay yun sa
Hindi
estate?
na. Kasi mas madali ilipat yan, di ba? I think mutual funds, you call your...
It goes part of your estate eh.
Yes, but what's the... how do you encash that?
You just withdraw it, but the withdrawal should be the one that it's live and...
Di ba like a bank account? Di ba? When someone passes away, what they say is, withdraw mo na yung money kaagad para you don't need to give the banks an estate tax clearance. I guess it works the same way. What I tell for a practical advice na if you have an account, no, for me, what I personally do is I just leave a
kasi
signed
sometimes if you
blank
don't know
check.
that it just happens,
Hindi
it's
mo
an
talaga
accident,
malalaman.
diba?
Ako, may blank check na ako na, and I tell my friends, leave na lang a blank check on your vault para your money, you can get it. Maybe it's the same for mutual funds. Like leave a signed withdrawal form.
Pwede. Like, okay, so...
Kasi I won't recommend that you include that pa in your estate, you know, if you can avoid it.
Well, I'm sure our viewers have really learned a lot from you, and I learned a lot from you as well. And before we end our show, do you have any message to our viewers?
Well, just that we work hard to earn our money. We work hard so we can provide for our families and our children. It would be such a waste that whatever estate we leave behind, they will not be able to benefit from. So when you are in the investment mode and you want to acquire properties, keep in mind that when you pass away, these properties will transfer to your heirs. And if you want them to have full enjoyment of these properties, I strongly recommend that you consider an estate tax planning.
Okay. And maybe you can also give them your phone number in the office or a website if you have, so they can maybe ask you for straight to you.
You can send me an email if you're interested in learning more about estate tax planning. You can send me an email at lmaranas@aranaslaw.com. That's small caps, small letters, all small letters. lmaranas@aranaslaw.com.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ro.
Thank you. Again, we need to manage our wealth wisely. Calculate every move you make towards spending your money. You have to respect the wealth that you have made for you and your family, and honor God and thank Him for the talent and the wisdom He gave us that brought us where we are today. Again, I will leave you with the magic 3. With luck comes preparedness. Make your money work harder for you, and build wealth for your peace of mind. Lastly, thank you to my sponsors, Frank Provo for my hair and makeup at the fort, Flawless for the answer being to my clear skin right now. And see you next week, same time, same channel, as we continue learning about different businesses and investment opportunities. Maraming salamat po at magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.